Hello and welcome back to Movement Monastery. I'm Francesco and today we're going to be working on the cheat gainer. The cheat gainer. I just did that move completely cold. I drove down here. I've been working on my computer all morning. It's one of my top skills that I love to do because you can literally just whip it out without any warm-up whatsoever. It's like one of my top 5 skills, and maybe I'll make a video about those skills you can do cold at any time situation. In any case, let's get to the tutorial, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, everybody, so the prerequisites for this move, you're going to already want to have your standing back tuck. You're going to want to make sure you have a handstand step down or a back handspring step down, and then you also want to have a butterfly kick. The reason why you want to have the butterfly kick is it helps you understand what being flat to the ground is and learning how to kick your body in that direction, which is going to come in handy when you start actually kicking your leg over your shoulder. If you haven't experienced your body flipping in that way, flipping parallel to the floor, it's going to disorient you a lot when you start going for the full skill, start kicking your leg to the side. I see a lot of people start out this move and they have never experienced themselves going that direction, and it really throws them off, and then they always keep falling over when they land. So just keep that in mind. Having that butterfly kick is going to really help you with your orientation. I'm also going to throw in a couple of small drills that might help you with this orientation as well, but for the most part, that butterfly kick will do most of the job. Obviously, you want to have a standing back tuck because in order to do this skill well, you're first going to have to learn how to do a flash kick going straight over the top and then slowly kicking it to the side over time. I've seen way more progress with people if they do it this way than if they go straight for the kick to the side. Doesn't mean you can't do it that way. I've just seen more progress this way with people doing it. And obviously the step down drills, either handstand step down or back handspring step down, is going to get you the orientation of stepping down to the floor. Remember, we're doing this with minimal equipment as if you don't have a whole lot to work with and just going from one skill to the next. If you have equipment at a gym, of course, please use it, and eventually I'll make tutorials about stuff like that. All right, so you already have your standing back tuck. Now, the first thing you want to be able to do is turn that standing back tuck where you grab your legs and turn it into a standing back tuck where you're not grabbing your legs. So you're doing a full backflip all the way over, strong arm swing, just keep your knees and feet together and pull your legs over. The better you can get at this, the more it's going to translate into learning your flash kick, and eventually this is going to help you learn your cheat gainer and swing flash skill. The next thing you're going to need from this is to be able to do a standing back tuck where you grab, but then instead of landing on 2 feet, you put one leg down to the floor and land with one foot in front of the other. Now you have to already think about which foot you're going to land on before you start training this, because once you start training one leg coming down, it's a lot harder to switch to the other one. You should eventually practice both sides, but it's really important to think about this stuff before you start. So if you do your cartwheels and you kick your right leg back, you're probably going to also kick your right leg forward for the next part. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, you're going to start doing your standing back tuck, you're going to grab both your legs, and then when you come around, you're going to release and land one foot down and then the other, right? So like I said, if you kick your right leg back for a cartwheel, after you grab your legs in a back tuck, when you kick out to the ground to land, you're going to land with your right foot first and then your left. This is one of the easiest ways to get you oriented into the idea of being able to land one foot before the other. Now, in order to push to the next part of this, you want to try and do the same thing just with no grab. So you're going to do your standing back tuck, no grabbing the legs this time, pull everything over, and then when you see the ground, you want to step down one foot and then the other. And the more acclimated you get to doing that, the easier it's going to be to move on to the next part of this. But you want to get used to the coordination of this before we start adding in tons of height, lots of arch, or straightening out your legs or anything along those kind of lines. Just get used to doing the skill and landing safely, and then we can start making it look better and better and better as we go on. If you're having a really hard time putting one foot down before the other, just keep working the standing back tuck without grabbing and start to land a little bit more staggered. You can see in the video when I do that, I just slightly turn my body, just slightly, and it's going to help you out actually in the long run, because if you watch anybody that does really good flash kicks, they always tilt their body to the side when they come out of it and slightly go into that almost side flippy position as they come out of the skill. This opens up your hip and your range of motion more, allows you to kick down to the floor more. If you have a really solid like front split, an active front split, then you can actually kick down straight down to the floor. I just don't see it very often unless people are doing double flash kicks Usually the last leg they bring down to the floor, they're going to be turning themselves and turning away from that front leg in the front. So you can see what I mean from the videos, but just be aware of that. Okay, we're moving along smoothly. Next thing you have to learn how to do is jump off of one leg and land on two in your back flip. So this one is a little scary at first, but most of the time you'll land it just fine. You always have your hands as backup to catch you if you don't, but you're gonna do this really rugged. You have that one leg swinging forward, it swings back, and then you pull it up and you do your back flip like normal. It'll probably be low at first. You might do a slight gainer in the process of it, but look at the pattern that I use here. I have my leg starting to the back first, it swings forward, back, I swing it up, I swing my arms in tandem with it at the same time, and I pull everything up into my back tuck. Jump off one leg, land on two. Pretty simple, get used to doing it, and you'll be on your way. The next step in this is to be able to take a few steps forward and allow yourself to be able to do the swing of the leg and then land on 2 feet in your back flip without landing on one leg just yet. Yes, we're gonna land on 2 feet first. Like I said, you're gonna learn a lot of different skills in the process of this. So you're learning how to do a swing gainer now. It's gonna come in handy when you start to do your J step and learning how to travel forward. It's just knowing what it's like to do that. You take one step, you do the skill. You take 2 steps, you do the skill. You take 3 steps, you do the skill. Don't overcomplicate it. Just try to do a little bit at a time. Don't try to gain a ton of forward momentum with it. Just take a few steps and go into it. It'll pay off in the long run. You don't even have to do a gainer. It's just straight up and down. Take a few steps and do the swing, land on 2 feet. The next thing you have to focus on is being able to do a standing swing backflip, but landing on the other leg. So if you swing your right leg up, you're gonna land on that leg. If you swing your left leg up, you're gonna land on that leg. If you jump off your left leg, you're swinging up the other leg, you're gonna land on your opposite leg. So you have to really get used to doing this. The swinging of one leg and landing on the other. It's super, super important. It doesn't have to be super split out just yet, but you're gonna find it's a lot easier to land this way because you can leverage yourself with the other leg up in the air as you come down. So like I said, this is one skill individually you wanna work on by itself before throwing it into a few steps into something. Take the time, get it down right, get that control factor down, build that strength from doing it, and then you'll be able to move on to the next part a lot easier. Okay, so the next part of this is probably the most important part in developing the cheap gainer. You're gonna learn how to do a 180 turn and then swing into your skill, or learn how to do a 90-degree angle turn and then swing into your skill. Both ways are gonna be very useful for you. Make sure you do both. I highly recommend you try the one that turns you completely around, probably one of the easier ones to do at first because of the momentum of you turning around and swinging over backwards. It's a lot easier on you that way. And then the 90-degree angle one's gonna come in handy for any situation where you have to turn sharply to do it. I love using the 90-degree angle one a lot, and I use that one more often because I come into situations where that's just more useful for me. But I initially learned with the 180-degree turn first. Makes you travel back a little bit more too, so just keep that in mind. You have to decide how you're gonna do this though. You can either hop off the same foot twice. So if I'm standing on my left leg, I would jump, turn around, jump off my left leg again, and then swing my right leg over. Or I can start on my right leg, jump to my left leg, and swing my other leg up and over. Either way is okay, but I find a lot of people actually like to do the same leg twice. I think it has something to do with that plyometric effect you get from loading the leg twice that helps you kind of be a little bit more springy. But depending on how fast you go and your ability as an athlete, either one of these will work out for you. Okay, so now that you understand how to take a few steps into the skill, how to turn yourself to 90 degrees, how to turn yourself to 180 degrees, jump off one leg, land on the other, right? We should have all the elements necessary to work toward the final skill here. So first thing you're gonna do is take a few steps, swing yourself into a flash kick up and over. We're trying to get a straight line over the top, and then we're gonna start doing the angled one where we start going over the side. Let's take a look at that and then move forward. Okay, so next step is learning how to do the J-step. What the J-step does is if you're on a line traveling forward, and I'm gonna approach this with the 3-step method. So I'm gonna swing off my left leg. That means I'm gonna start initially by stepping with my left leg. I'll step off to the right and then come back to the line on my left. So it's left, right, left. And if you watch this, what you're gonna see is that I step forward with my left leg, I come off the line with my right leg, and then I come back to the line with my left leg. When I come back to the line, I am traveling forward, But I'm at a slight angle with my hip to my foot, which is called blocking. It's going to allow me to jump up higher. And my foot is also turned out, so I'm going to be sideways when I get onto the line. And that's going to make it a lot easier for me to flip over. It'll be a lot easier mechanically for my body. Otherwise, I'd be just doing a straight gainer and traveling forward. So I'm using that sideways position to really block strong and pull myself up and over. I'm still going to kick straight over the top. Not going to kick to the shoulder just yet, but I'm going to use that. I'm going to use this J step. I'm going forward, off to the side, then come back. My foot's turned out either to the 90 degrees of where I was traveling initially, or maybe even slightly more than that. Okay everybody, I was having a lot of technical issues with my camera. The main thing that I wanted to point out to you is that when you start to add in the J step, your body's going to start to naturally go toward into doing the kick to the side just because of the angle that you're approaching into the skill. And it's okay if that's happening. If you want to negate that, focus on doing the 180-degree turn before swinging over if you just want to focus on the flash kick. However, just because of the nature of this skill, it has a tendency to push you off to the side, and that's why it's such a good prerequisite before going into the corkscrew, so you don't even have to think about it. If you already have your cheek gainer, you can start focusing on the other parts of the corkscrew without a whole lot of extra work involved. That's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button, comment down below, let me know of any kind of videos you would like to see more of. Make sure that you subscribe for more content, and you have a great day.